Hello everyone and welcome to Shard TCG. Richard here, and in this video I'm going to be going through the Set 1 Origins Dragons. Overall, dragons are quite powerful cards, and anyone that makes a dragon orientated deck can basically go on a power trip and summon an army of massive beasts. But dragons are also good for augmenting other decks. Typically they make good boss monsters. Basically it's a big powerful creature in your deck that you get out, and once that's out you're going for the win basically. But more on that later. For now, let's start with the most important dragon, in my opinion, the Nemelith. The Nemelith is a 1-shard little baby dragon. Well, it's not a baby, that's actually an adult Nemelith. But yeah, it's only got a 2 attack, 2 health, and then a 2 counter. But what makes this card special is its effect, Dracul. Restless creature. The next 2 to 5 shard dragon can be summoned with the shard cost reduced by 1 until the end phase. What makes this card so essential for dragon orientated decks is it's basically a summoner. You get your Nemeliths out, you rest them, and then discount the cost of your next bigger dragon by 1 shard. And due to how this effect is worded, it means you can stack them. So if you've got 2 Nemeliths out, you can rest both of them and reduce the next dragon you summon by 2 shards. That's basically a free summon for a lot of the stronger dragons as well. So if you're going for a full dragon deck, I strongly recommend including a Nemelith. Next up we have the Ramobra. The Ramobra is another 1-shard dragon. It's poison element, and it basically themes around poison. It's more useful for a poison deck than a dedicated dragon deck, but it's a very good card to have in any deck, mainly due to its effect. So its attack is infected bite with 2 damage, but with wounding, which means whenever it attacks it's going to pop a wound on the enemy and slowly wear them down. It's got a 2 counter, which is average for 1 shard, and 3 health, which is quite good for a 1-shard creature. Constrict is its effect. Sleep this creature. Target a creature with an equal or lower shard cost than this creature. Sleep the target creature. What this does is it lets a Ramobra incapacitate an opposing creature that's also 1 shard. Not too useful against bigger enemy creatures, but good just for early game, shutting down all the opponent's weaker creatures. Next up, our dragons are getting a bit bigger now. We have the Dracul. This is a 2-shard air dragon with aerial strike and wind pressure. Now if you look at the actions, you'll notice one is a counter and one is a block. This dragon doesn't actually have an attack. So this dragon is excellent for defensive purposes. The aerial strike does 5 damage, which is quite high for a 2-shard creature, and has pierce. So if it takes out an attacking creature, the excess damage is going to go straight to the opponent's life. So this can actually be quite good for attacking defensively, if that makes sense. And then wind pressure, a 1 block, quite standard, but with 5 health is pretty good. Finally, Hurricane is its effect. When this creature uses an action, you may target 2 creatures on the same side of the field. Swap the positions of the target creatures. So this effect is a bit of a niche effect really. It's quite air themed though. Basically when you block or counter with your Dracul, you can swap the position of 2 creatures either on your side of the field or on the opponent's side, so you can swap their positions around. For upcoming avian and other air creatures, this effect's going to be pretty damn good. For the current set though, it's good for interfering with the opponent's creature lineup, which could be useful if you're using lots of splash damage to take out stuff like cloaked creatures and whatnot. Next we have the Beather. Beather is one of my personal favourites. It's a 2-shard, so not too expensive to get out, but it's also a zealot, which means it can use an action twice per turn before it has to rest. Its actions are also equally devastating, having a pierce attack and a splash attack to choose from. The drawback of this card is it has no block or counter, so it's purely there for offense. The Arc Lightning attack has pierce, so you can start chipping away at the opponent's life, And Stormbringer has Splash. 3 is quite low damage, but for Splash it's quite high, and it makes it quite good at clearing out most 1-shard creatures. Finally, its effect is the main drawback of this card, self-destructive power. When it rests, it gets a wound. So this means the more you use a Beerthur, the weaker it's going to get. It's wielding lightning too recklessly and injuring itself. Next up we have the Morocc, a 3-shard dragon. Moroccs are pretty beastie dragons to have on the field. They're Quake element, but they have the Berserker creature title. Berserker means if they can attack, they must. This can be a bit of a drawback because it means you can't choose not to attack with the Morocc. So you risk having it countered or it attacking directly, which will cause it to sleep, which you might not always want to do. So bear that in mind. It's an angry dragon. It wants carnage. Its attack is Fracture Smash. This is a splash attack, so it will also damage creatures adjacent either side of whatever it attacks. Pretty powerful. And its block stone walls just average, but with 6 health it makes for quite an effective block. What sets this dragon apart though is its effect, Hungry Scent. During the combat phase, when 1 creature is destroyed, you may summon this creature for 1 less shard. When 2 or more creatures are destroyed, you may summon this creature for 2 fewer shards. This means you can get the Morocc out cheaper if you've been successfully destroying a lot of the opponent's creatures. This is a general theme of dragons where they're big, powerful creatures of a high shard cost, but the goal of a good dragon deck is to reduce that shard cost to get them out cheaper. Another cool trick is Hungry Scent can be comboed with Nemoliths in advance, so you could activate a Nemoliths effect to reduce it down to 2 shards to summon, and then go ahead with some damage and destroy some of your opponent's creatures. Say you destroy 2, you can get this out for free. So that's a nice little secret effect there, and another example of how a dragon deck works. The Nero, a 3-shard air dragon with Guardian. Guardians prevent their owner from being targeted by direct attacks. So if you want to attack an opponent who has a Guardian out, you have to get rid of their Guardians first. Nero has Swift Blows and attack, standard 5 damage attack, 6 health, which is average, and a strong 5 counter. Its effect, Wing Guardian. When an ally creature is targeted for an attack, you may swap this creature's position with the ally creature, and this creature becomes the new target of the attack. This is a very useful effect because it allows the Nero to swap positions with another ally creature, where the Nero then becomes the attack target instead. This basically allows you to defend all manner of other creatures on your side of the field. It combos very nicely with Nemoliths. Nemoliths are small, weak dragons that are good at getting more dragons out. Get a Nero out, and the Nero can be used to protect your Nemoliths. The Lava Lung, a 4-shard lava dragon. We're getting into the big territory now. Lava Lung has Titan, which means it's a colossal sized creature, and Titans have no adjacent creatures. So if you attack a Titan with a creature with splash damage, only the Titan's going to take the regular amount of damage, the adjacent creatures aren't. So again, it's quite a nice defensive effect, Titan. Its attack, Molten Spew, does 4 damage with Dissolve. Dissolve allows it to ignore any amount of block value from a blocking creature, so it can go straight through. This is why the attack is quite low for a 4-shard creature, is because it's ignoring blocks basically, and it'll also strip away any shield tokens a blocking creature might have as a little bonus. It has a massive 3 block, but with Overexert as well. With 3 block, that means you need 11 damage to take it out in 1 blow, which is a huge amount to ask for. Overexert, however, means that it will sleep after blocking, so it'll become unusable on your next turn. But Lava Lung, again, is designed for more defensive use, so this shouldn't be an issue. Its effect, Incubating Lava Stream. During the start phase, while this creature is resting, the next fire or lava creature can be summoned, with the shard cost reduced by 1 until the end phase. This allows for your Lava Lung to double up as a summoner, not just for some dragons, but mostly for lava and fire orientated decks. This is where we get into the boss monster territory that I mentioned at the start of this video, where while the Lava Lung would work quite nicely in a dragon deck, you can make it one of the big signature creatures of your lava or fire deck, where the goal is to get your Lava Lung out, because then with Incubating Lava Stream you can start hammering the field with loads of other creatures. Like imagine this comboing with Afrits and other fire or lava themed creatures. The one main trick with Incubating Lava Stream, however, is you need Lava Lung to be resting, so it makes that block with Overexert actually useful, because if you block with Unbreaking Stance, the Lava Lung's going to sleep, and then during your start phase it will then be resting, which means its effect can then be used. So one of the main techniques around using this card is to block as much as you can and get it resting. The Hydra, another 4 shard dragon. This time it's water element, and it has that berserker title, so that means it has to attack if it can, just like the Morocc. Its attack, Lashing Jaws, is a 7 damage attack. It's poison element but it doesn't have wounding, and its second attack is Tidal Wave, which is a splash attack. So this is 4 damage but with splash, so it's going to damage adjacent creatures as well, so it could do up to 12 damage in one go. You can see the main drawback here is it's offense only with 2 attacks, no blocks or counters again, but it has a nice 8 health and a very useful effect, Cleanse. If this creature is weakened or wounded, rest this creature. Remove all weaknesses and wounds from this creature. This basically means if your Hydra has any wounds or weakness tokens on it, you can rest it and clean them off. So this makes this quite a persistent dragon basically. Once you get it out, it's going to be hard for an opponent to take it out unless they focus it with one massive assault. They can't chip away with poison, and they can't try and weaken that nasty 7 damage with wounds either. They've got to try and take it down fast. This dragon's designed to stay on the field and give you the win. The Ignibus, another 4 shard dragon, this time fire element. This dragon has the Guardian title, so this prevents your opponent from attacking you directly until it's taken out first. Its first action is Firestorm, which has wounding and 7 damage, so that's a good amount of damage, and it's going to be putting a wound on, leaving a permanent -1 to the victim's health. It has a strong counter of 6 with Dissolve. Now a counter with Dissolve isn't as useful because Dissolve is designed to ignore blocks. However, if you're against opponents that use shielding a lot, Dissolve is good for chipping away at shields. Its effect is what really makes this creature devastating, however. Wound Exploit. When this creature damages a wounded creature, this creature's combat damage is increased by the number of wounds on the target creature. This basically means that you could use your Ignibus to attack a creature, the creature survives but has a wound. Next time it attacks, instead of doing 7 damage, it'll do 8 because it's got a wound on its target, and then 9 and then 10 as the wounds stack up. This is great for taking out opposing creatures that are very tanky as well. Like a creature with a lot of health or a high block. The Ignibus can eventually wear it down and then take it out in one good strong blow. The Ignibus is another example of a boss creature where it could go in a fire orientated deck or poison orientated deck that focuses on wounds. Because of Wound Exploit, Ignibus is a great choice for a deck that is built around wounding the opponent's creatures. Finally, we have the Draconic. This is a legendary creature. You can tell by the 2 symbols either side of its title. Just count the dots. The more dots it has, the rarer the card is. This is a champion, which means you can only have 1 Draconic on your side of the field at a time. This counts for any champion, so the Amalgalich is an undead champion. You couldn't have both a Draconic and an Amalgalich out at the same time. There can only be 1 champion. Its actions: Purifying Flame, a strong 8 attack, which is huge, 10 health, which is average for a 5 shard, but 5 shards are very rare and 10 health is a huge amount of health. And finally its counter, Tempered Barrage, is quite powerful as well at 8 damage. What really makes this a signature creature for Dragon deck, however, Dragon Lord. Rest this creature, the next dragon can be summoned with its shard cost reduced by 3 down to a minimum of 1 until the end phase. This is a huge summoning discount that can let you flood the field with all manner of powerful dragons, but it does limit it down to 1 shard, so you're still going to be spending shards. However, if you have some Nemoliths on the field, I'm sure that 1 shard won't be an issue either. And that's it, that's the dragons. So the general theme around dragons is big, powerful creatures, and then just hoying them out on the field, trying to get them as cheap as possible as well. There's several spells you can use as well, such as Draconic Incubation, to get dragons out even more rapidly as well. Once a dragon deck is going, it's a hard thing to stop. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already and you want to see more, and also check out the Shard TCG Discord server as well, where we're very active, and we also stream at the minute every Monday, where everyone jumps in Tabletop Simulator and we play a few games, tease a few new cards, have a bit of a laugh. Sometimes we make goof cards as well, which can be quite fun. Thanks for watching, and until next time, like a crack Sid, keep on rolling.